Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So today what I'm going to show you is, like the thumbnail says, I'm going to show you my fast and reliable team that I'm using to farm the Dark Fae on stage 120. It is sometimes a little bit of, RNG. You can get up to 3 minutes depending on like how fast I actually do damage, but usually it's around the 2 minutes 30, 2 minutes 40 as time, and turns it around 100, 130 and 20. I don't really care about the turns, but whenever I'm trying to build a team like this, I mostly care about the time, because at the end of the day, unless you're trying to compete for the sake of the global I guess the global rankings, for the sake of this one, you don't really care about the turns. You mostly just care about the time. You're trying to do this as fast as possible. There's different variations of this team. There's variations that use like Horndig, or like variation they use some other champions that can straight up one-shot yourself if that person goes fast for the sake of this boss. However, because I'm using my Horndig as one of my arena nukers, I had to remove him from there and try and do something that's a little bit more specialized. And this is a combination of, I guess, a free-to-play team combined with some, with not so free-to-play, and that's having double allures. But the whole concept of this team is, as we see here, look at what's happening. The freeze coming from, what's his face, Pounder, and then having the passive of Dark Fae, which everybody can get, to nuke basically our own team. So the way this one's going is, you have the fastest champion in this team to be the Pounder. The reason why I specifically like Pounder in here is because of the affinity that I'm using, and that's like all magic. I'm using Pounder because he's the best one for the sake of single target freezing to specifically proc Dark Fae's passive that basically does that AoE, and at the same time it boosts her turn meter whenever that happens. And I have it a little bit played with on the presets so that everything falls into sync, right? So that I basically have two AoEs from Dark Fae, one from the passive proc and another one from her getting her turn, for the sake of making sure I kill myself in here. Then obviously the two allures are here for the turn meter control, and I guess the main damage in here is Ninja. I actually wanted for quite a while to try and fit my Ninja into this team, but it was a little bit difficult because of the tankiness that I've been built. So basically the way that I'm running my Ninja is, he's pretty fast with high resist, high accuracy. I mean pretty fast, around 200 speed, but with high resist, high accuracy, and pretty tanky. So most of the time my Dark Fae will not be able to just one-shot him in the build that I currently have. However, by having that by having the AI preset made in such a way that she has two nukes ready for when that happens, he will always die. And the way that I did that is I just locked Dark Fae's A2 on the second wave, and then when she comes back to this one, like I said, she procs the passive from the freeze that's specifically placed on her. Like I tuned it in such a way that the Pounder always targets Dark Fae. So even if this happens, like not everybody dies, we still have what it takes to finish it off, even if it's just like Ninja left. But usually they will survive as well because of the baby decreased attack. So honestly, this one I could make it even faster, but I do not have masteries on my second allure. So let me show you the presets that I'm using on this team, and after that I'm going to show you the builds that I exactly have for this one. So let's have a look. I even put Pounder in the lead because he brings magical attack battles in all battles by 20%. So 20% extra attack is definitely going to help us a little bit because there's no other aura that we can use. So when we talk about the presets, we have like this: nothing for Pounder on the first two waves. Like even if Pounder uses the freeze on the waves, that's fine because it gives us that chance to keep the waves controlled and do not take any damage on us, so that when we get to the boss part, like I said, Dark Fae will always be the one that receives the A2 from the enemy Pounder. Therefore, she puts up the increased attack, strength, and all the nice buffs on herself, and then she basically does the AoE and kind of kills everybody, if not on the first one, on the second hit as well. So I have these two like this, and then on the boss part, you just lock your Pounder's freeze. You do not want your Pounder to use it at all. I tried to make it open with the A1 and then leave the freeze in there, but because the Dark Fae always steals when she does that, mirror of your champion, she always steals Dark Fae. if my pounder does this A2 on that Dark Lane, she basically just kills us. So I saw that even though, okay, this might have saved a few seconds by doing the, you know, AoE hit, maybe like 10-15 seconds, I'd rather keep this one close, so that way we have this one. Okay, let's not call it 100% reliable, but I can call it 97% reliable, because, you know, some 3% in there with the turn meter controls not landing and all that can make this go wrong, but it still works. Then my fast allure is I have her do whatever she wants on the waves. Then on the boss part, I just want her to do the A1, because obviously you want to keep the boss's turn meter down. At the same time, she's also in immunity, because that's the build that I have on her for the sake of my fast Fire Knight 25 team, which specifically needs some champions in there to be in immunity, and one of them is actually allure. By having that immunity in there, even if something happens, like we do not keep the boss's turn meter control down, and one of our champion gets stolen, at least the fast allure will not get that true fear, because when the boss steals our champion, which in my case is Dark Elhain, she places true fear AoE, and by having immunity on the allure, it helps us because she's covered. So even though that Dark Elhain is stolen, we can still keep the turn meter down. Even if everybody else gets the true fear procced, we can still keep the turn meter down of at least the Dark Elhain with allure, and we can sustain at least one hit from the boss without any issues. The second allure is just to random build to make her do some damage in there. Same thing, everything locked, just on the boss part. Everything open, and on the boss part A2, A3 locked, and just using the A1. Like I said, I need this one to also have Giant Slayer, which I do not have yet, so that could improve my damage some more. I could even try and put this allure again in immunity, so we have two, both of them not be true feared, and, you know, to lower even more that chance of being, you know, getting that 3% resist. But this one has worked, honestly, ever since I did the last weeks, it has never failed so far, so that's pretty awesome. When it comes to Dark Elhain, like I said, you on the first wave just open with the A2, then lock it, and then on this wave, actually I could even leave it like this in case we need to use it again, but we don't really need to. That way I do it once, then lock it, and then if she comes back to it for the second wave, again use it once, then do not use it anymore, because I want to make sure I have this Death's Majesty, this AoE, for the boss part. So first thing that happens, like our pounder does the A1, the enemy pounder does the A2, which is freezing on Dark Elhain, and because of this passive which says instantly removes any freeze debuff on this champion, places a 30% increased crit rate and increased crit damage and strength turn whenever an enemy places a freeze on her. So I could have maybe even built her with 70% crit rate, however, I want her to always have 100% crit rate for the sake of the, you know, of the other hits that she does. It doesn't really say here, and I haven't really checked exactly if this one's placed for 2 turns, but if maybe you cannot hit the stats to kill yourself, you can even try to lower her stats to like 70% crit rate, because you also need the accuracy on her. The reason why you want accuracy on her is because this one even has a chance, after booked, it's what, 50, 60, 75% chance to place the decreased speed. Having the decreased speed on the boss is really important, because obviously the slower she is, the easier it is for you to control her turn meter, because in this team I don't have no turn meter boost for myself or no increased speed, so having decreased speed is kind of important. So yeah, if you cannot one shot it, just try to put 70% crit rate on her, and that way you might be able to hit the crit damage, attack, and accuracy stats that you actually need to do this. When it comes to Ninja, for Ninja I did just locked the freeze on the first wave, because we do enough damage, we don't need to freeze them. Then on the second wave I make him prioritize with this. Even though the wrong affinity, you're gonna freeze like some or most of them. If not, you're gonna freeze with Pounders A2. If not, you're gonna keep the turn meter control with Allure. So unless you have the worst RNG in the world, you're never gonna be hit by that wave, because you have the turn meter control, the sleeps, the freeze, you know, all that. And then on the boss part, again, even though this one refreshes the A2 cooldown, again, for the sake of reliability, I locked it, because if Ninja does that freeze on the Dark Elhain being stolen, guess what's gonna happen? Yep, that Dark Elhain is gonna go and kill ourselves. So this is the best preset that I could see, that I used for my team and made it never fail, and the time is pretty fast. Like I said, it's 3 minutes or under 3 minutes. And you know, I'm pretty happy with that. But let me show you the build. So Ninja, like I said, he's in a regen and perception. I want him to be close to 350 resist and 350 accuracy normally, because that's the way that I would use him for the sake of the Griffin. That's how I use him for the sake of soloing the boss part on Dragon when I fight 24-25, and that's why I have resist and accuracy on him. Speed is 227, actually got him pretty fast. I even managed to give him 100% crit rate. You don't really need crit rate because the damage that he does is mostly from his A2. So if you see that, you know, it's kind of hard for you to get survivability stats, just drop that crit rate and straight up go for more HP, more defense, whatever you need to survive. Then the masteries that I use are these ones, you know, the War Master, which helps us with a little bit more damage, and then the defense tree. Honestly, this one you could go down the support tree and get maybe Master Hexer, maybe Sniper for a higher chance to land a decreased defense on the A1. But so far this one worked. These were the masteries that I used on him for the sake of clan boss, where, you know, that retribution helped in there. Then Dark Fae, she's in a lethal gear, like she's not in the, you know, best gear in the world. Honestly, 236 and 4.1k attack, that's nothing too crazy, you know. Like, it's, this one's definitely a build that most people could do, relatable, even with the accuracy in there. And yeah, also an accuracy set, obviously, for the sake of, like I said, that accuracy to land the debuffs. These are her masteries. Again, War Master plus Master Hexer for a chance to extend that decrease speed, plus Sniper for a higher chance to land that decrease speed, because, you know, it's only 75% chance, so maybe it doesn't land on the first AoE, but hopefully lands on the second one that you know, that she does. Then next one are the allures. Like I said, this is one of the allures that's like just random gear, like high speed there, 100% crit rate, 350 accuracy to be able to debuff the boss, because in order to debuff the boss you need to have around 330 to 350. 350 makes it more reliable accuracy for the sake of debuffing her. Like I said, this one I could improve it. I can try and do immunity. This one's not something you would necessarily want. I just put it because, like, you know, it's a nice roll. I don't have a candy to put it on. This might make it a little bit tricky because she might not be one shot, but the thing is, she's the slower one, so having reaction on her, even if she's not one shot by the Alhain on the first shot, she's gonna be killed on the second one, or when we do the AoEs with the allures. So this one is not a big problem, but if you can, try to avoid it. Like I said, masteries, I don't have masteries on her, but I'm gonna show you the masteries of the other one. This is what you would like to see. You'd like to see the Giant Slayer, and honestly even Evil Eye. Even though this one does not help for Fire Knight, it does help for the sake of this boss, because the Evil Eye is gonna proc on the first hit. So if you do a hit on the boss, a hit on the ninja, for example, and maybe on the allure that survives, you push the thermometer back and you always have it controlled. And also for the waves, it helps. You know, getting an extra 20% thermometer decrease alongside the 25% that does on the A1, that makes it pretty reliable, you know. But yeah, these are the stats. Like I said, the build immunity and, you know, high speed, 280, maybe even 270 could work, but, you know, the faster the better, because the faster she comes back to her A1, the better for the sake of controlling the boss. Accuracy might be a little bit on the lower side, but it worked. Like, I had no issues with it, and I do have a little bit of damage for her as well. Normally this one I would like to have only 85% crit rate for Fire Knight 25 for my team, because she's strong affinity, but because I'm using her in Dark Fae as well, I had to give her 100% crit rate. And then the last one, the Pounder, like I said, he's the fastest one, 289 speed, and you want to have, like, honestly, I'm not sure you need like 320 accuracy for the sake of freezing yourself. However, the reason why I gave him this accuracy is because of the decreased attack that he can place on the A1. It's a 35% chance, but this can be helpful. If he does enough A1s, as long as he places it once, you're good to go, because then when the boss hits you, that 25% damage decrease is gonna help you survive and be able to take 1 or even 2 hits, or depends if you get crit, you know. So yeah, like I said, no crit rate. I didn't want to go 100% crit rate because I would want to do more damage on the boss, but at the same time I don't want the Pounder to hit me so hard that I don't know, kills my Dark Fae. Even though it might not happen, it might take that HP of the Dark Fae too low, and then the boss does the AoE and you're dead. So, you know, you're trying to balance it as much as you can, and mostly his damage is gonna come from the War Master, which I have over here. Obviously, Life Drinker, having Life Drinker on your champions helps, because if you get hit and you drop under 50% HP, this one can help you heal back up if you proc one of the War Masters. And over here again, Evil Eye actually helps, because having that Evil Eye land on the boss, it's again more thermometer control. But yeah, I mean, I know this is not, you know, this is not the most free-to-play friendly, because I have double allure in there. I know some people maybe have no allures in there. It's a little bit harder to do it without the allures, but, you know, the best champions that you can use instead of allures could be somebody like a Lissandra. Lissandra kind of does like really good thermometer control in there. She could be really helpful, because she can deplete the thermometer, she can increase yours, push back theirs, and you know, there's other ways of doing it. If you don't have like this, I have other videos where I show that I use the Royal Guard instead of the second allure, and the Cold Heart instead of the Ninja, or a Deacon in there for the lead and more perimeter control. You know, there's variations, but obviously, like I said, this is my team. This was kind of more of a showcase of my team, the way that I use with double allure and bringing in Ninja in there for the extra damage. I did notice that with Ninja, it was a little bit more, it was a bit faster and kind of the same reliability compared to the Royal Guard. Even though Royal Guard does enemy max HP, the damage explosion that Ninja does on this A2 is actually insane and just makes him really good and viable for that boss. But yeah, this is gonna be for the video today, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it and if this was helpful for you, don't forget to like and subscribe this video. Also, I want to announce again that tomorrow I'll be doing a subathon. That's why I didn't stream today. So if you're one of my Twitch followers as well, tomorrow from 2 p.m. GMT plus 3 or 7 a.m. EST, I will be doing a subathon. Is a subathon that's gonna be like 10 hours minimum and can go up to 24 hours. So, you know, depending on how it goes, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be doing shard pulls, I'm gonna be doing giveaways, I'm gonna be, you know, doing lots of fun stuff in there. So hopefully you're gonna join me and support me through that, you know, journey, subathon journey. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.